Hello! It says we are live. Not gonna lie, I'm so excited that we've got 2 books this month because this really is our saving grace that we've got this one to talk about because
I really enjoyed it.
I did too. I really liked rereading this.
Yeah, and this is my first time reading it.
I know! I completely didn't connect that this was gonna be your first time reading it, and I was like, after you were sending me your theories, and I was like, oh, she hasn't read it before.
No.
Hey, Alice! Yay, it's your first time too. Oh, I'm so excited. It's so much more exciting because I'm like, everybody's gonna read it.
Hi, Alice. I just saw the pop out, the chat.
Yay! I'm so glad everybody liked it.
Yes. What?
Do we all want to go around and say what we rated it?
Yeah.
So I rated it I'm like 4.25.
Yeah, I give it a 5 out of 5.
Here's my thing. It's no, I can't, it's hard to not compare it to Vampire Academy.
It is.
So that's why I'm like, well, it's not as good as Vampire Academy, but it's still really good.
Yeah.
So Aaron's between a 4 and a 4.5. Alice is a 5 out of 5. Haley's 4.5. I'm 4.25 and you're 5.5.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I gave it a 5 out of 5.
5, yeah.
But let's hope that this live show doesn't put me at a 4.5. I was between a 4.5 and a 5.
Nice. Alice said that it was a sprint trying to finish it before my library return was due. So, do you want to, I guess I'll start off since I rated the lowest out of everybody.
Yeah.
So I rated it the lowest because, like I said, it's hard to not compare it to Vampire Academy. And what I really love about Vampire Academy is the fast-paced action. And I felt it gets faster. It picks up the speed in the plot line. But because this is the first book, because you have to set up all of the relationships and the settings, that it felt a little slow for me because it's not as fast paced. You come off the high of Vampire Academy of fighting and constant battles and everything is so intense that this is very mundane compared to that, and that's where it docks it for me. But it's still really good in its own right.
Yeah, I agree. I can see that because there's no action, there's no fighting scene, there's no training, none of that.
Yes. It's yeah. Alice is I want more Rose and Dimitri. Yeah.
It sounds like we're gonna get some Dimitri though.
We get him a little bit in the series, not much, but can we talk about Adrian?
Adrian's my favorite character. I've come to realize Adrian is my favorite character. So I think that's why I rated it 5 out of 5 stars, because you see so much Adrian.
Yes. So that's how this entire series is going to be. And so I'm just like, if you love Adrian, you were going to love this.
Yeah.
Yes. Always more Rose and Dimitri. Yes. So, Alice said to Adrian, I hope becomes less whiny.
Yes.
He gets more developed.
Good.
So he gets he already has you see, this is where I'm comparing it also to what we just read When Devil Met Rishi, how their characters don't really have depth. Adrian, in my opinion, from Vampire Academy, already has all of this depth, right? He gets even more. He gets more fleshed out. He gets more well-rounded. We get to know him, like his ins and outs, so much more, and I love that.
Oh, I'm really, yeah. I did mention that. I was like, I don't see that. I was like, I'm missing that flirtatious. Am I? Okay, no. Sorry, I thought it was echoing. I was like, I'm missing that flirtatious, like kind of snarky, sarcasm Adrian. I'm like, where is that Adrian? I'm like, come on, let's get over Rose. Let's. But I can understand that Spirit is like really starting to get to him.
Yes, and we definitely see that he's not as spunky as he was before.
Can I just say the bond? Oh my gosh. Was not expecting.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes, and I love that we get to still see the bond part because, like, so spoilers for Vampire Academy, but if you are already on Bloodlines, you should already know at this point, like, you should have already read that. So spoilers, just warning. I love the fact that at the end of the Vampire Academy, like, they just, like, cut off the bond and that they made that relationship special and now all of a sudden it's not. So I love that we get that special relationship between, I was about going to say Jailbait, but Jill and Adrian. And I love that we get to see that, like, brother-sister relationship with the bond and how that affects her. And what really, like, I love that I care so much about it because it drives me crazy how much Adrian clearly cares about Jill, but he doesn't, he has such bad habits with taking care of himself that, like, this is a way that he has to take care of himself for Jill because he cares so much about Jill. He doesn't care that much about himself. And I love we get to see that.
Yeah. And Sydney's character development is like, wow. I was really shocked with how much character development she has in just one book. She goes from, like, I mean, she already kind of developed a lot in just Vampire Academy, but we didn't really see her inner thoughts, you know, but we already knew from, like, the first time we met her, she couldn't even sleep with her and Rose being in the same room. And she went into, like, touching, like, she's still really apprehensive about the magic, but she's like, lets Adrian touch her. And she personally touched Jill and comforted her. And I'm like, oh my gosh, great character development. Like, yeah. Well, I ship Sydney and Adrian. I would be so sad if they don't end up together. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
So I really like that we see Sydney's development in that character growth there, but I love that it's not like instantly she's okay with it because you've got to remember she grew up in this very rigid aspect of it and, like, she's been drilled to not be okay with it and to, like, these creatures are evil creatures and she, like, comes to terms with that. And I love that we get to see the struggle there. And so she, like, takes those steps, but it's not like instant she's fine all of a sudden. So I love that we still get to see, like, her freaking out about the magic. And I love that there's still that, like, sense of self being preserved with her.
I agree. It's gradual. I love it.
Yes, exactly what Aaron just said. It's good how Sydney is slowly getting more comfortable with the vampires, but she's not okay with everything all at once. Yeah, and it makes it very more believable and more enjoyable for me because then we get to see and actually feel like it's a realistic growth versus just like, okay, now I'm fine.
Yeah, I 100% agree. From the minute we were introduced to Lee, I knew there was something off about him, but I did not expect the twist, like the Strigoi twist.
Yeah, because, like, who wouldn't want to be fine, like, to be turned back? Also, I was like, when I was first reading this, and I was like, what? Who fixed him? Like, that's where I was coming from, was who brought him back from this type of thing.
We don't know, right? Yet? We don't know yet?
No.
Do we find out?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, Haley, when they went mini golfing, yeah. She, like,
I loved that
scene. And she, like, almost, I mean, at the very end scene, I wouldn't say she was dying, but she was, like, in pretty bad shape, and she'd rather be in pain than let Adrian heal her.
Mm-hmm. So Erin said she didn't pick up on something being off about Lee at all. See, I thought that he was weird, but I didn't pick up like on him trying to like kill people, like not that bad type of thing.
Yeah.
I think they did that really well.
I agree. Yeah, she did so good.
And I think that it was we had enough of a distraction of like the slime ball of Keith to distract us from like really paying attention to Lee. Can we talk about like how insta-love Lee was for Jill though? Like he was willing to be like, I want to keep her forever and we're gonna be together forever. And I was like, whoa boy. Where did that come from?
Yeah.
I hate Keith too. I mean, if you don't like that, you need to check yourself type of thing. So what do we think about the other characters?
I love Jill. I see so many similarities between Jill and Lissa.
I do too.
But you know what? It's so funny. I think I like Jill more. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah, because here's the thing. Lissa always struck me as being a little naive at sometimes, but she's 18 and now she's queen. So it's kind of like, I didn't see it, but with Jill has a reason to be naive. She's 15 years old. So it like goes well with it. Sometimes Lissa was just being a little annoying and I was just kind of like, come on, snap out of it, act your age. But with Jill, I mean, she is acting her age.
But do you think that has to do with Lissa being royal and being like sheltered and like being kind of coddled? And Jill loved it.
That's true. That is true. That is true.
So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that you like Jill better as a main character or Lissa? While they answer that, like, what do we...
I think Jill is spunkier.
I think so too. She's got a little more fire in her, which is ironic because she's a water user.
Yeah.
Ty.
Yeah, they're both great characters. And I see so much Rose and Sydney. Like at first, when you're seeing Sydney from Rose's point of view, you don't see that, you know, like Sydney's very reserved and you don't see that. But hearing her inner thoughts, I was like, wow, okay. I mean, and she tells herself, she's like, why can't I just act? Why can't I say this? Like, why can't I be defiant? Like, why am I just being so complacent? And she's like struggling with it. And I'm like, okay, I see it in Rose. Like her and Rose have the same, like they both don't want to be forced to do things. Just Rose acts on it and Sydney just kind of waits for the opportune moment. She picks her battles.
Now that we're making parallels between the two, do you think that this series was necessary?
Because well, yes.
So I like love that we get the similarities between Rose and Sydney. However, I think Sydney is different enough to not be like just a copycat, like a watered down Rose.
No, she's definitely not.
Yeah, and I feel like she's her own character. Like she's strong enough. Like she's a strong character. They're both strong female characters, which I love. But I love that she is, yes, Alice, she is more scientific. She's more like brains and she's more like analytical. And I love that she's got like a good head on her shoulders type of thing. And as Rose is very like impulsive. So I love that we both kind of see like this strong character. It's got like both of the same like base, but like totally different, like stems off differently. Alice said, I forgot the girl who she did it to, but I love when Sydney did the shampoo. It was funny. Yeah. Yes, and Haley, I totally agree. Obsession with coffee is there. I relate to that.
I think Rochelle Mead did a fantastic job of just putting enough similarities in her characters, but not too much to where I'm reading it. I was never comparing her to Rose. I just saw her similarities. It wasn't like I was reading it and I was annoyed and I was like, oh, Rose was just so much more like this, and Rose was more like this, and then Alyssa was more like this. It was just like, oh, wow, I see the similarities between her and Rose, but I see her as her own character.
Yes, absolutely. And I think she did a wonderful job with that too.
Agreed.
So what do we think about the other characters?
Oh my God, Adrian, 5 out of 5 stars.
I mean, obviously. But what about the new characters?
What?
What about the new characters?
What other new characters? Oh, Micah.
Yep.
I don't know yet with Micah.
What about Trey or Miss Terwilliger or?
Oh, she's hilarious.
Yes.
She's awesome. I love her. Go get me coffee.
And like, I like that she's like pushing on Sydney.
Yeah.
Like with her subject and like getting her to use that like spell that she was doing and stuff. Like, I like that we get to like see that and like kind of like she just like sprinkles this and she's like, here, like I don't need this now that you've labored over this. Like that can be yours. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. So that actually confused me. Does Sydney actually have magic? Or is that a spoiler?
It's not a spoiler because we see her, but yeah. See, Alice says I totally didn't see her being a witch.
Sydney or the teacher?
Well, I mean,
both, kind of. Okay, I'll stop asking questions. I'll keep reading.
Because I mean, we see Sydney cast a spell.
Yeah. So, okay, interesting. So.
And like, she never would have done that without it being Miss Terwilliger, you know?
Yeah, okay. I love that. Oh my God, is she vampire? No. She can do fire magic. Is she actually a Moroi? These are just crackpot theories.
Just need to keep reading.
I love it. So actually going back to your question about if I think this series is necessary, like the way it's going right now, I think it's not lacking anything. Like I think it was a good choice to continue on with the series. It's not like
the series, like the growth in this series is like so good.
Okay. I like that. It's not like a flop.
No. Yeah, you definitely don't get like second book syndrome or anything like that. Or like you know how in Vampire Academy I felt like it kind of like petered out at the end? I don't remember feeling this way in Bloodlines.
Okay. I love that we still see Abe. And yeah. I love that we got a little bit of Rose. I hope we get a little more of Rose.
You don't get much, but she does sprinkle in.
She sprinkles in a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. Same with Dimitri. It's sprinkled in. So, like, we're gonna now like jump into the end here. What do we think about Adrian working with like trying to figure out how to protect the Dompiers?
What do you mean?
Like with like because they were talking about the Dompiers being protected if they were born again or whatever, and it was that type of magic, and that we needed to experiment with the spirit users who weren't doing anything. Like having Adrian work on this. What do we think about?
I like it. It's interesting because Dimitri's coming into play.
I kind of also like just feel for Adrian having to like be around Dimitri because obviously they're gonna be like interacting now, you know, and it's like salt and wound type of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, the alchemist studies. Yeah, I love that. I love all the science behind the alchemists.
Yes, and we get to see like a whole other world. So what do we think about like vampire hunters?
Okay, I was confused. Like, I don't know if, so I like the idea of bringing it in. And that's why, so at first I was like, oh, obviously, see, I thought Lee was a vampire hunter. That's what I thought at first. I was not expecting him to be a Strigoi, or safe Strigoi. Yeah, exactly. But I have a feeling it's coming back into play, and I love that because I think there are humans know about vampires. We've got feeders, so it makes sense that there are vampire hunters.
So what did we think about the tattoo and the tattoo, like using vampire blood and like humans being that like integrated with with vampire magic already?
Yeah, I thought that was crazy, and I didn't think Keith was behind it at all. Like, I was not expecting it. You know, did that shock you? Like the first time you read it?
I thought, it's been so long, but I feel like I knew something was going on that he was trying to hide. I just didn't know what. I didn't realize that he was like giving them the blood, but he knew that the operation was happening. I should know that he was that like in it.
I had no idea. I thought that Keith was killing Lee's father, Mr. Donahue. So I thought that there was something there, like, because every time they'd go there, he was more sick and more sick. And I was like, well, Keith's killing him, obviously. I thought Keith was like also turning into some sort of like vampire hunter as well. Because
I could totally see that.
He hates them so much, which is why I didn't think he was in the tattoo. And that's what I think is so great about these stories is there's so many small inner conflicts that end up just like weaving together and creating a bigger conflict.
Yes, I loved seeing that Sydney investigating Keith. Can we just talk about like realistically, like putting a tattoo on your face, and that's like the cool thing in high school? Like, that's a tattoo on your face. I understand if it was like on your shoulder or like on your back or something, but on your face, come on.
No, some of them were putting them on their lower backs. Remember, that's where Micah's is.
Yeah, but like when Sydney showed up with her face tattoo, they're like, "Oh, is that the new thing? Like, that's cool."
Oh.
No.
Yeah, I think she was supposed to hide it, right? She's supposed to put makeup on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I would never put a tattoo on my face.
Yeah, me neither.
Right? And none of the teachers cared about that tattoo. It's like, what type of school is this?
Yeah. Oh, speaking of like the teachers with like, okay, so that's another thing that we didn't get as much with like Lissa and Rose, but I thought it was crazy how Jill was hungover because Adrian was hungover.
I love that.
We never saw that interaction with Lissa and Rose. Granted, Rose was the one who did the drinking, so we didn't see Lissa get affected. Well, no, yeah, we never saw Lissa get affected from Rose drinking.
Well, because it's not shared that way.
Oh, because it's Adrian Roy. Gotcha.
Yeah. So, but Lissa did get drunk because in the series, because remember she like went crazy and started attacking that guy.
Oh, and they were shadow kissed already. No, they weren't shadow kissed yet. That was before.
Oh, was it?
I think that was before the accident. They stopped partying. She stopped partying after the accident happened.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, don't get me, I love tattoos. I don't necessarily know if I could have one on my face.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah, I love tattoos. And I'm getting a second one, so.
That's
true. It was before the accident. Okay. But yeah, we never saw, I mean, we would see like Rose get really angry when Lissa was angry and vice versa. Like we see their moods. We would see their moods together. But we thought that was because of the spirit. I never saw like the alcohol. I thought that was really interesting. I didn't see that twist coming.
See, and that's why I love that we see that play in, because Adrian doesn't care that much about himself, and he like is okay with like treating himself like crap. But I love that we get to see that he's so concerned for Jill that he like has to think about that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Do we like Sydney and Adrian together?
Yes.
Okay, good. Lie to me and say yes.
Right. This is the only acceptable answer. Check yes or yes.
Does okay, what about Jill and Micah? How do we feel about that?
Here's the thing. I'm going to stay out of this conversation because I already know what happens, so I will be biased.
I feel like we're going to Jill and Micah ship. I just see, I mean, why else was Micah introduced? I see it going as a ship. Right now, I'm indifferent because I don't know enough about Micah. Maybe as the books progress, we're going to see, yeah, Micah, the one who looks like Mason, yeah. Maybe as the books progress, oh no, Micah's going to end up being the vampire hunter. That's it. Micah's a vampire hunter, isn't he?
Who's the one that works in the coffee shop? I don't remember. Is that Micah or is that's Trey, right?
Yeah, Trey is the assistant, teacher's assistant.
Yes. Yeah.
One of them is bad. One of them. The teacher, Trey, or Micah. One of them's bad. I don't know. It's only been the first book. I need to read more.
Yes, you do. I'm telling you, the series, her writing, she's just so good at taking. She's very like Sarah J. Maas too, which I think Rochelle Mead came before Sarah J. Maas, but like, so it's like just that writing style is so good when you can take a simple idea and then blossom it into something so much more, and you get so much more development. And it happens in her books, and it makes me so happy, and I love it.
Yeah, no, her book. I mean, I was super apprehensive going into this series because I was really afraid that it was gonna flop.
Yeah,
what? Oh, it's just people are starting to remember. I decided to read Golden Lily during jury duty, or should I pick a book I won't be so into?
You'll fly through it, like.
yeah, it might be the perfect thing. I don't. Yeah, so I was really apprehensive, and for the longest time, because I mean, I read Vampire Academy series when it was first released. I read Vampire Academy, and Vampire Academy was one of those, because you marathoned it, didn't you, Hannah? Vampire Academy?
Yes, I didn't read it when it first came out.
Okay.
I'm always late to the game on these things.
So I read it when it came out in 2007, Vampire Academy. And then I waited until Frostbite. And then, as the books were released, I would read them. And then after Vampire Academy, Bloodlines came out, and I was like, ooh, I don't know. And I kind of stopped.
Can we just take a moment? The fact that it says for Katie, Morgana, and other fans of Adrian, for all the Adrian lovers.
I love that. I didn't realize this book is almost 10 years old. So I was right when I was like, I read this 10 years ago. More than that, 11 years ago. I read this 11 years ago. So no wonder I didn't remember how some of the books ended.
So I really love that Sydney is trying to get him to channel his energy and trying to get him to go to school. Also, I think she's living vicariously through him. But I love that we get to see him, her trying to put him on the right path and being good for him. And I'm like, oh, so cute.
Yes. Oh, the cover though. Poor Rochelle Mead.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah, why would they do that to her?
She's still putting out covers that look like that. They just came out with Emerald Sea, which is the third book in the Glittering Court, and it's still a giant face.
Yeah, which is crazy because I read an excerpt of her book Soundless, and I hated it. I was like, oh no. It's so interesting how some of her other series have flopped when this series is so good.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because she's growing off of this idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm getting like hyped to read Golden Lily now
I
too.
know. I think I already have it. I think I just requested it. Do I have it? Oh, I do have it. Yep, I'm super excited.
It's so
Soundless
good.
was not a great book. No, I didn't think it would be. I like read the first like 2 or 3 chapters. So with like NetGalley, when Soundless was first released, I got pre-approved on NetGalley for like an excerpt of it. Like the first like couple chapters or so, and I read it and I was like, wow, this is really bad.
Sad.
Yeah.
I really like the faucet too. Allison, I found it so funny with Jill and the faucet with the water.
Oh yeah, she got so angry.
With the ice crystals.
That's really funny. What's that girl's name that she's
Laurel.
terrible? Laurel. She's like another Mia.
Yeah, but I felt like Mia was tamer.
No, she put blood all over her wall.
Yeah, but I felt like because Rose was so strong and that she was like
Yeah.
she like could physically beat up Mia, and they constantly talked about like Mia's like insignificant. And then Sydney like can hold her own, but she's like, I don't know how to protect her. Like I can't make everything better, type of thing.
I feel like, yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know. They're both like so high school. I like that they kept the boarding school. I like that. How do you feel that we're not at St. Vladimir's?
It makes me sad because I like St. Vladimir so much and I like the environment, but I like that we get to see more towns, like see them interacting with the public, and I like that.
Yeah, it definitely adds more conflict of like staying, because like of kind of staying under the radar. Because when Laurel is, joking that Jill is a vampire because she's so pale and like she is sick with the sun, Sydney freaks out and then she reminds herself she doesn't actually know. They're just joking.
But I like that we get to see like that's an added danger type of thing of like out.
Yeah, it's like it's like adding conflict, but it like there's substance to it, you know?
Yeah.
So.
I like that we get to see Jill be more confident, and I like that we get to see her. I think that sends such a good message to girls that like even beautiful vampires can feel self-conscious and feel bullied, and like she like comes into her own type of thing by the end of this book, like after being in the modeling and stuff. And she like, and at the end, it's not like some like picture perfect moment. Like she even says like she still stumbles on the runway, but she like anybody else looking at her would think she's ethereal. So it still shows that she still has doubts about herself, but she is like still being able to like be more comfortable in her skin. And I think that's such a good message to send to anybody in general, but especially to girls reading this in like YA and teen section. And I just appreciated that so much that we got to see that.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that too. And then, okay, so Haley mentioned I wouldn't like living in California. Yeah, I have to say I like the setting of being in high school and they're like at like some like a boarding school, but I kind of wish we were somewhere more like exotic, you know? Like I think it would have been interesting to be somewhere where we don't see very often in books, because California isn't like, it's kind of we see it a lot in books. What?
Cliche, like everybody goes
California. Like when Dimple Met Rishi is in California.
Yeah.
You know? I would have loved to maybe see like Alaska. You know, Alaska during the summer, they have pretty much like 16 hours of sun, you know?
But they do go to Alaska in Vampire Academy.
No, they go to Russia.
But the Alaska is where the prison is.
Oh, you're right, they do. Crap, you're right. Okay.
And we do get like the weird like they're in Montana is where St. Vladimir is.
You're right. So then like why are we in Palm Springs? Like why are we in Forks? Like because somewhere, like I would have just liked to see somewhere more unique that we don't see, like Maine. I don't know. How many book settings are in Maine?
They went to a place because of the sun.
Correct.
It doesn't have a lot of Strigoi. That's why they went down there.
Oh, yeah, it makes sense. But I wish maybe they would have gone somewhere else that was really sunny. Like, I don't know, Mexico.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where else want to put it. Maybe like Georgia. Georgia would be real cute.
Yeah. Like, Arizona.
Yeah. Really hot though.
No Strigoi. Maryland. So yeah, there's constant sunlight during Alaskan summers. Yeah.
Haley, I agree. I would love more books to be in Oregon. It's always fun to like read a book where you live.
Texas. It is. I mean, the sun here sets at like 9:30.
Yeah.
And it is hot though. It was like 100 degrees the other day.
Yeah.
It is hot. But yeah, so that's my only gripe I'd have to say is like, why are we in Palm Springs? It's very cliche. I was really hoping for somewhere unique because we go to so many unique places in Vampire Academy. Like you said, Montana, then we go to what?
Russia and Alaska.
Where did they go with Dimitri too? Like in book 6?
Well, they travel all over the place because they're on the run.
Right. And it's just like random though, and I liked that.
Oh, I didn't know that Wicked Deep was in Oregon. That's cool.
Or like we could have been in like London.
But then it's rainy. They needed a place that's got the sun.
Oh, is it raining in London? I didn't know.
Yeah.
Virginia. Yeah. Yeah. Who else is new in the trying to think.
Yeah, they totally were. They were in Portland. But for like a snippet, they were in Portland.
Portland. You're right. Well, Portland is rainy, isn't it?
Yes.
Jill would love that, though. Wait, can the Strigoi come out in rain? They can't come out in the sun. So, yeah. Yeah. Oh, Miss Carp. I'm interested that she's coming back in.
Yes.
Did she kind of end up staying?
She's, well, because they talk about the alchemist studies quite a bit coming up. So, I mean, it's a pretty decent part.
Okay.
I know Jill would just be in heaven in Oregon.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know if they mentioned this in Vampire Academy, but if you don't use your powers, because Lissa was spirit, so we're coming from a completely separate, that's so different. With water, like if you don't use your magic, do you start like feeling sick?
I think it like is an irritant, but I don't know if it like affects it as much as spirit.
Okay.
I can't wait for us to all like continue reading this because it gets so much better.
Yeah, I do like that we're only doing one book a month though.
Yeah, I agree. Less pressure.
Yeah. That last month with those like 2 really chunky books got a little hard. Who's your favorite character? I don't think you mentioned your favorite character.
In Bloodlines?
Yeah.
Just based off of the first book. I mean, it's probably Sydney because
yeah,
funky. We didn't really talk about Eddie.
Oh, I love it! Oh my God, Eddie has a crush on Jill. I don't know if I like it.
It's so cute.
Oh, yeah, Kristen's reaction to the tattoo. She almost died. I thought she did because they were talking about how she was like shaking and ticking and then she just stopped. And I was like, oh my God, she died.
I think she was going into shock.
Yeah, but Eddie and Jill, okay. See, I don't know.
I think it's very sweet and like tender, and I'm like, they're little babies.
I think maybe, oh God, please don't tell me there's a love triangle between Jill, Eddie, and Micah.
Not really.
Okay, okay.
Because here's the thing. Eddie, like his entire thing with this book too, has been like she's like she's on a different level than me, like type of thing. And
Yeah,
Eddie's like very like self-sacrificing. So
yeah.
it's like very sweet and tender that he's like, I just want her to be happy. It's fine if she's not with me type of thing. And so it's like not really a love triangle, but it's just like they obviously the affection is there.
Okay. I'm okay with two guys liking one girl or like two. I'm okay with like, I don't know,
Not a
like
complete triangle.
exactly like a semicircle
Yeah.
where like two people like the same person, but she just likes one. I don't like one person liking two people,
Yeah.
you know? So I could understand, yeah. So I mean, I could probably get behind it a little bit, but I do like that we're getting a lot more because I feel like Eddie was just we didn't get a lot of Eddie in Vampire Academy. Like we did, but character development wise, we didn't get much of him at all. And I do like that, you know, we're getting a lot more Eddie and we're starting to get what he thinks and how protective he is. Because like in Vampire Academy, we know that he takes his job seriously, but it wasn't until I read this book how much he takes his job seriously.
Yes.
Um, and I had another thought. Oh, Jill dying. Well,
I
that's
know. I like rereading this, I was like, I forgot about what the accident was. Like I knew there was the link there, but I didn't remember what the accident was. And I was like, well, obviously she would have had to die to get like Adrian back, like to have them linked.
right.
And I was like, I forgot like how intense that interaction was. And it makes me wish that like we didn't have any gaps between Vampire Academy and Bloodlines. Like I want to see all of that chaos. Like give
Yeah.
me everything.
I kind of wish like maybe we had started Bloodlines with like a is it what prelude or
Yeah.
is that what it is?
Prequel.
No, no, not necessarily a prequel, but like you know, like you get that like a preface. What's the beginning?
Yeah, I think it's
The beginning
preface.
chapter,
Yeah.
right? And like we see that whole thing happen, and then you skip forward. Prologue. Wow.
Oh, that's what. Yeah.
Yeah, a prologue. So we've gotten maybe like 20 pages of a prologue of seeing like Jill die, and then just leave it at that.
See, and I would love to see like it being like a fast paced, like almost like an ER type of scene.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, like we're just getting like bursts. And I would love to that would it like saw like the riot and then saw the attack and then see the Adrian like bring her back to life and then they jump to we need to protect her type of thing. Like I would have loved to see it like spotty and then it like start off the really
right. Or maybe Adrian not bringing her back to life, but just like her getting stabbed. So we assume she survives. And then it's not until later on where we find out there's a bond that she had to have died.
Yes.
So basically, yeah. So it just like the prologue ending with like her getting stabbed, and then you fast forward and you're like, oh, okay, she got stabbed, but she survived.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would have been really nice. Yeah. I thought that would have been a really good prologue for sure. What do we think of Sydney's dad and her?
Oh yeah. So Alice just said I hated how Sydney's dad goes on Keith, and I wanted to know if he still does. Yeah. So I say this in my blog that I haven't put up yet. That I was like, I forgot what a douche Keith or Sydney's dad is, and like how just like squirmy he is, and like yuck. Like, come on.
He kind of seems sexist.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because he doesn't have a son. I like that his like he has to hide stuff from her mom because she was like, yeah, like these are my children, type of thing. I like that there's like conflict and that Sydney grew up with a motherly figure that like is protective.
Yeah, and I like how she's trying to protect Zoe.
Yes, I love that. even though Zoe doesn't want him protected.
No, but I mean, you could, yeah. She probably wants to get in on the action.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think of like Keith and her sister Carly? Does that kind of come back in? Do you think that was necessary? I kind of like, I assumed from the beginning, the second she's like, I know what he did, you know, and like, do I need to tell you, like, you know, I don't know. The second I was like, she like was like, if I really told my dad who he really is and what he's done, I was like, oh, I was like, he probably raped some girl. Bless you. Bless you.
So I think all of that was necessary because it showed character growth with how her dad responds to her and how she's treated among the alchemists. And we get to see, like, this is who they all praise, even though he's this terrible person. And I think we needed to see that, like, she sees him for what he is, even though she's not getting the respect that she deserves. Like, this is how everybody in this system treats her. And it, like, we get to see, like, the whys of it and kind of see, like, the backstories of it. And I really liked that we get to see kind of that underbelly, kind of.
Yeah. I also like how it kind of intertwined with Vampire Academies, because in Vampire Academies, we know that Abe is blackmailing Sydney, but we don't know why. And we finally figure out why. And that, I think that was important. Yes, the coffee scene on him. She was like, unfortunately, it was cold now.
That was great.
Yeah, that was really good. And then I was shocked that like the alchemists went to Adrian when Adrian called them after he like turned over Keith's apartment. I was really shocked that they actually showed up. I would have thought that they wouldn't have.
Well, and I think he's like also higher up too because he's Novashkov, that he like has a little bit more standing.
Yeah,
still obviously they don't respect him, but like at least he's got a little oomph there.
Yeah.
I loved the team up between Adrian and Sydney. Like I love them together. Like so, very like Sherlocky Watson vibes, and it's so adorable.
Oh my gosh, they're so good. They're giving me Audrey Rose and what's his name?
Thomas Cresswell.
Yes, they're giving me like those types of vibes because like they don't touch, you know, but I don't know. It's like Sydney's so proper and Adrian is so...
It's such a charged energy that it's like a will they won't they type of thing.
Yes, and it's so cute without it being like too cheesy. And it's like there's just the perfect amount of like... Wait, I kind of wish Adrian had Christian magic with the tie-up. Oh, like when he burned it?
Yeah, the fire magic.
I hope we see Adrian come into his powers. I want to see him like powerful like Lissa.
Well, so we see how much spirit really affects him, and we get to see the ins and outs of spirit. Like we learned so much more about spirit through these books, and that's so fascinating to me.
That's good. That's really good. Their banter
is great.
Yeah. I like their banter. Do you prefer Dimitri Rose banter? Or not prefer? Obviously. I'm liking the Sydney Adrian banter a little more.
Oh no. Dimitri will always be ultimate book boyfriend. But they've got really great dynamics, and yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep reading.
I like it because I feel like sometimes with Rose and Dimitri, it was like Rose being very rash and Dimitri just being like, Rose, stop it. You know, like, calm down. You're being immature. And then, but with Sydney and Adrian, it's like, they just like bounce off each other. You know, they're both like being dumb sometimes.
Yeah, definitely a different dynamic between the two couples.
Yes. I'm really liking this series so much. I'm so glad we decided to continue on.
Me too. So obviously Golden Lily, which is right up there, is the next one for the Mugglestudies book club. We'll announce when the live show is for that. TBD. Is there anything else you guys want to touch on before we wrap this up? Besides that it's fantastic. And I'm so excited that everybody else is loving it, and I've got more people to, like, be on the Rochelle Mead train with me.
Which was your favorite book, Hannah, in the series?
Vampire Academy or
No, Bloodline.
Oh. It's been so long since I've read them, but it's got to be... Ew, I'm not... Probably between Fiery Heart, Silver Shadows, and Ruby Circle.
Okay.
The last three.
Okay. So Alice says, what is the best version to read? I did both ebook or like a physical book and audiobook, and I flew through the audiobook at like 2 times speed.
Yeah, I like the audiobook too. I usually, like, because they're rereads for me, that I like will fly through the audiobooks and just like put them on like when I don't have an audiobook to listen to. But I don't have access to the audiobooks because they're like, apparently I don't own them anymore. I don't know where they went. My Audible is all messed up. So I listened to this one because my library had it, but my library doesn't have the rest of them. So I'm going to read Golden Lily.
Okay.
I will say the audiobook, Sydney's voice is a smidgen annoying. It's a little whiny, but it's still like easy to listen to.
Yeah, I agree. Like I could listen to it at, like I said, 2 times speed, and I followed very well. But I wouldn't say buy it. Like if you can rent it through your library, then listen to it, but I wouldn't go out and like buy it.
See, and I like re-listen to them like 24/7 anyway, so I should probably just buy the audiobooks because that's what I listen to like on my downtime.
Yeah. So if I didn't have it on my public library, then I would read it.
Haley said her, according to Goodreads, Silver Shadow was her favorite. And I was going to say Silver Shadow was my favorite, but I wasn't for sure. And I can't remember. I like remember snippets of what happens in the series, but I don't remember what's in each book. So.
Okay. So I'm glad that it like with Vampire Academy, I think my favorite one, like going back and thinking about it now, I think my favorite one's like the first book. I think really nothing tops like the original Vampire Academy book. So I'm really glad that, no spoilers.
No.
I'm really glad that it, like you said, with Vampire Academy, sometimes it fizzled out a little bit. I'm glad that this, like, it gets really good. Yeah. You should have at least some sort of library, like, in your county, and then you can do everything on an app. So you just have to go one time to your county library, and I mean, I'm not sure how it works, but you like sign up for it and you get a card, and then like I don't go to my library. I do everything off of my app. Right? You have your app, right?
Yeah, I've got an app too, but like with where we live, if you don't live in the city limits, you have to pay a fee to use our local library.
Oh, is it really expensive? Is it just a one-time fee?
I have not a clue.
That's stupid. I think everyone should be allowed to have access to like a county library.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have. Yeah. That's upsetting. That's. What about like school libraries?
That I have not a clue.
Oh my gosh, a month? What? Oh, girl, just buy the book.
That's crazy.
Like, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure eBay probably sells these books for like really cheap.
Or Haley, like the big library that's in our town, also has a used bookstore that's attached to it too. You might find them there. Or we have two. I don't want to say the name to give away the town that we live in, but we also have two used bookstores in town. You might find them at too.
Oh my god, $100 a month! Holy crap!
I'm so mad after you left. from visiting, I realized that I never brought you one to our library or two to my used bookstores in town that I wanted to show you. And I was like, darn it, we never had
I'll
time.
have to come back.
Yes, I'll find you on Twitter, Haley, and I'll tell you the ones. Have you never been to our like used bookstores? Because they're fantastic.
Yeah, $100 a month is your food budget. No kidding. Like my car payment.
Okay, so I think we're about wrapped up. We will see you all next month, and we've already have Bloodlines, all of the Bloodlines books to talk about on there, broken up by chapters too. So if you want to chat with us on Goodreads, make sure to do that. And
then My Lady Jane is our book for July. Yes. So yes.
That and Golden Lily. So. Yeah. We will see you all next time. Thank you guys for tuning in. Yes, we're all going to go jump and read Golden Lily now that we're all pumped about it.
I know, right? And I'm like super hyped for My Lady Jane.
Yes.
I hope it doesn't disappoint.
I know. So that is all. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys next time. Bye. Bye.